Okay, so it's the
Are we on?
We're on. It's the 30th of May, 2015, and it's the Grouchy Club Podcast with John Fleming.
Kate Copstick.
Giacinto Palmieri.
Luca Cupani.
Hey.
Two Italians and two Scots. No Englishmen at all.
Mm-hmm. I know.
And it's very, very good.
There's a very powerful connection between the Italians and the Scots.
Well, ice cream, basically.
Ice cream, chips, pizza. No, but they...
Chips?
I don't know why. It was
there was a lot of emigration to Scotland.
After the Second World War?
Yeah, because of the mines, I think.
19th century, I think, yeah. Anyway.
But also after there was internment camps for Italians in Scotland. And I think a lot of people stayed.
For the ice cream?
Well, because they were internment camps, but there was a lot of...
Ice cream.
Fraternization.
I could say.
Would you shut up about ice cream?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, that's the one. And they're still there. And my best friend in school was called Frida Corrieri.
Sometimes.
Everyone was fine with the Italian thing. My gran was horrified.
Really?
Because
What?
my grandmother was convinced. She was an amazing woman. She was the first woman in Scotland to drive an ambulance. She drove an ambulance during the war, but she knew that she could tell a Catholic, but at 500 yards.
From the smell.
One thing was she said they smelled different.
Okay, it must be sexual frustration.
That's the one. But she said you can tell them because they've got wee Catholic eyes and a wee Catholic mouth, which are their eyes are smaller and closer together than Protestant eyes.
Really?
Did she specify how they smelt?
I'm assuming it was of incense or something.
Incense.
But no, it's just all these, when you get indoctrinated, as people are, by Christianity in its various forms, you get, and this was not an opinion. You couldn't say, look, Gran, have a look at these 10 people. What you say is self-evidently not true. It wasn't an opinion, it was a belief. And you really can't reason people out of their beliefs.
And so, now we're going to change to PBH, are we, in the Edinburgh Fringe?
I know, I've been outed.
Explain the background.
I've been outed as a... Well,
the idea was from John, but...
I deny everything.
Yeah, I proposed to rebrand Copstick as a PBH apologist.
And to that, I have to plead guilty. I have to plead guilty. It's, he's such an honourable, honest man. Can we help you?
Yeah.
A gentleman's walked in.
Yeah, a gentleman just walked in.
He's an ex-colleague of mine.
Hey!
He came to see my show. You are online.
You're online now. Name?
Nigel,
excellent. From the university?
No, from work ages ago, from my very first job in London.
Yeah.
Yes, and then he went to Australia for how long?
Oh, 8 years, just got back.
And now he came back to see my show.
Direct from Australia to see your show.
Yes.
That is an incredible pull.
Should we bring a chair?
No. Now, we're just doing a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Here. Feel free to listen. It's hilarious.
I just wanted to check out where it was.
We're here. There's a Wetherspoons upstairs and there's Morrison's over there. It's a BYOB gig.
And there's a pound roll round the corner.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's snacks in there. I'm marvellous. See you, Nigel. Now that...
Well, one of the joys of Almost Live...
That is clout.
What, people coming from Australia?
Coming from Australia.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Lot of pressure on me now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love pressure. I love pressure.
So are you big down under?
Is it, knowing your dirty mind and wondering what you mean with that?
All Italians are big down under.
I did go to Australia. I did the Adelaide Festival, which I wasn't that crazy about. I would love to do Melbourne. Melbourne as a city is much more interesting and much more exciting.
Why? It's all just it's a big desert with bits around the edge.
Yeah, Adelaide is a boring place. Have you been to Adelaide?
No, I've never been to Adelaide, but I've just... Because Adelaide is... Like, Melbourne's a full arts festival, isn't it? And Adelaide's purely a comedy festival.
Actually, I think... I think it's the other one. Adelaide is a fringe. Melbourne is a comedy festival. Problem is that Adelaide is an open festival as a fringe, while Adelaide is by invitation.
Okay.
And I haven't been invited yet. If anybody there works for the Melbourne
Adelaide,
Comedy
what's
Festival,
wrong with... Oh, no, is it Melbourne?
Yes.
Melbourne, what's wrong with you?
The regulations are a bit strange. They have different rules if you come from outside Australia or if you come from inside. They're very nativistic, very close to, I don't know.
For Aborigines.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're quite racist, to be fair, the Australians. They are quite racist people. I was in, where was I? Perth, which I know is what I believe they call Bogan country.
But what's Bogan?
Bogan is like a Ned.
Like chow.
Yeah. And we were filming at something called Sexpo. I was filming a series called Porn Week. I've done classy stuff.
Surely not.
And we were at this Sexpo, and I'd never been to Australia before.
You've never been down under? I'm going to carry on this.
Hilarious. Why don't you just go and book yourself a venue somewhere on the Free Fringe? Cowgatehead, yeah. And maybe, with a bit of luck, you won't get to do the show.
Hey!
Bogans. And I thought, we'll go out. So I was looking at a map, and there was an area that kind of sounded and looked quite interesting. And I said, what about there? And they went, no, you don't want to go there. It's all natives. You go, right, okay.
Meaning Aboriginals.
Yeah. And you go, I'm sure I'm comfortable with this, but that's what they're all like. I didn't...
But with the exaggeration, they're all like that.
Well, in Perth, it just seemed to be the accepted way to be. And they are really... Because I'm an appalling person, I actually found it hilarious, the kind of sexism. It was just funny.
I have a feeling this is xenophobia, surely.
Relentless and very, very funny, because it was so ridiculously over the top.
Anyway, we are in Shepherd's Bush. We are surrounded by Australians. So we should be careful.
Shut up. But everything, people say about, you don't want to go to Italy as a single woman because you'll be harassed.
So that's sole reason for going.
Harasses you in Italy.
They will. Don't worry.
They can shout ciao bella, but I don't know if it's
You see, to some people that would probably constitute harassment.
Yeah, Giada has a very good routine about it in her new show. About, I don't want to anticipate stuff of her show. But
Giada who?
Giada Garofalo. She did a very good preview of her new show yesterday.
And is she...
Are we too early?
No, you're never too early. We're just doing a bit of a podcast here. More people.
More people are arriving.
More people. Say hello to the World Wide Web.
Hello, Web. How are you doing, Web?
Excellent.
Buonasera.
See, more people are coming to see my show. It's working.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
At this point, we better explain why we've got Italians.
Why we've got Italians? Because they're wonderful people. I'm going to remove this. I was going to go for it as my new look.
Giacinto, this is my Italian-American friend, Michelle Seaside.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Seaside.
Giacinto Palmieri.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. From Milan.
I'm Michele Cecchi.
Michele Cecchi. Michela.
Michele. It's my grandfather's name.
Ah, okay.
Look.
A donation.
Oh my God!
Show
look,
it to the web.
donation.
Money is being handed over, dear listeners.
This is a
Before seeing my show,
you should have it
what?
over to
No,
me.
yeah. Thank you. What if
Thank
you
you
don't
very
like
much.
the show? I don't know.
Then I will demand it.
There are little snacks in there. It's a BYOB
Oh, okay.
on account of the fact we're not licensed.
Bring your own
Okay.
booze. Okay.
But Morrison's have a fabulous selection. Morrison's.
Should we grab a bottle?
Yeah. We have cups. You bring the booze.
We bring booze.
Great.
Yeah.
It's more money. Thank you very
I'm
much.
loving
This
it.
is a very belated present for
I'm
you.
loving
it was
it.
from last summer, remember, but I forgot to bring
Fantastic.
it.
I need to show this to the camera.
Oh, yes, please.
It's
Glide.
Look at this.
Wow.
From Michigan
This is
State
fantastic.
years ago.
Thank
Her
you so
father
much.
is a Wagner
The
enthusiast.
Wagner experience.
Can you explain it to the world, please?
This
Yeah.
is the 2-volume Wagner experience, and it's meeting to us by Dr. Paul Dawson Bowling. Dr. Dawson Bowling is a physician in Faversham, but he's been a lifelong Wagner enthusiast. He's been to Bayreuth many times. He was the chairman of the Wagner Appreciation Society in London, and he's written a 2-volume book, which has been a big success in the opera world, and he autographed a copy for Giacinto because he heard about his show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We thought you were a champion. I read it myself. It's very detailed.
Wow.
Another total enthusiast like yourself.
Thanks. Another crazy ringhead.
So
Basically.
Yeah.
Are you, as an Italian,
Yeah.
home of opera?
I know.
Are you even allowed to be as obsessed with Wagner as you are? Aren't they going to strip you of your Italian citizenship?
I like the paradox of it. You know? I love that kind of.
I think for our dear listeners, you'd explain why Wagner is relevant to anything.
Wagner is relevant to everything.
No, you're doing a show tonight as we record this.
Well, yes, because tonight we are doing a show for Mama Biashara. And
fundraiser.
Yeah,
we've got 15 quid already,
Yes.
and he hasn't even started. It's marvellous. We've got a man who's come straight from Australia, and 15 quid, and a free copy of the seminal work on Wagner.
Exactly. Right.
It's going so well.
Yeah.
Autographed.
By Wagner.
Exactly.
Just going
Yeah, by Wagner.
astoundingly well.
Indeed.
So you're so obsessed with Wagner
Yeah.
that you took, and it's not an obvious
Of
choice
course
for
it's
comedy.
Of course it's not.
Because you did this show last year.
Yes, actually, I did a bit of survey about, cross-referencing people interested in comedy, people interested in Wagner.
Was there anyone?
Yes, it came out that my target audience was Stephen Fry.
Hey.
Unfortunately, that's going to be the opening joke of my show,
That's,
which already
so that's
spoiled.
good. You can come in late.
Yes.
We'll look surprised.
Yeah.
Delighted.
Yeah.
But this is the last time you're going to perform this show, isn't it?
Well, that's the marketing idea, but
Farewell
last sounds so.
I know. I
Definitely.
admit, once I printed up the little thing, it did sound a bit threatening. To be fair,
Ominous.
last ever performance.
Yes.
He will ignite at the end.
Yeah, indeed. Was that a bit of an ignite at the end? Was that a bit of an Italian accent you were attempting?
No,
there?
it's more like Chris Linen doing the up the arse.
No. So this amazing act called Chris Lynham, whose whole act culminated in running naked round the stage and sometimes auditorium with a lit firework stuck up his arse.
Wow, a bit like Bob Slayer. I can see his style
London, is
there.
it Friday already?
I can see Bob
Should we grab some?
going that way. So
But that 3-stage Roman candle was
We'll
best.
come back shortly. We're just going to grab some
So,
wine.
it was,
The people have gone now, dear listeners.
it was, and it is brave to take something as honest as that. Because I mean, if people really hate the show, it's not just, well, I didn't like the material.
We're still talking about
You're
the Roman
telling
candle.
them about your passion, and if they're like, no, this is dull, then they're not only dissing you, they're dissing Ricard.
I'm not sure. I would just mean that I haven't managed to transfer my passion for him, for his work. So at the end, whatever you talk about, you're always talking about yourself. You always talk about your relationship to whatever you're talking about. So, I'm trying to make this show as personal as possible. It is about Wagner, it is about the ring, but it's mainly about what it means for me, my passion for it, and if I can manage to communicate my passion for it, hopefully people will relate to that, because everybody's passionate about something. So maybe people will not like Wagner, but maybe will like, I don't know, tennis with the same intensity.
Yes.
So if I can communicate why I love Wagner so much, maybe people who love tennis so much will relate to the passion. This is what I'm trying to do.
I'm a Verdi girl myself.
Verdi is a great
I
composer.
stood Scottish opera longer ago than I'm prepared to admit. Well, it must have been like 1970 something, the mid-70s.
1870s?
And I went to see La Traviata.
Yes.
And at that time, they weren't so big on, health and safety, so you were allowed to stand at the back.
Yeah.
And I went to see it on the Monday, and I was so overcome. I stood at the back every night, 7 nights in a row, just to watch it. It's still, it would be the Act 2, Scene 2 would still be, no, Act 2, Scene 1 would still be my Desert Island discs. But are you going to miss going up to Edinburgh this year?
Well, I will go for a week, 10 days. I will take part to the collective London Puma show.
What's the London Puma show?
Yeah, it's, the London Puma or Puma Londinese is a comedy club in London which allows we Italian comedians to perform in Italian. and we invite what we call the foreigners to perform in English.
That's us.
And it's every fortnight, isn't it?
Yeah, and so we're going to do 2 nights in Edinburgh. I think I'm going to play the second night. You are going to play both of them or the first?
I have an idea.
I don't know. I just remember that I'm going to play the second night on the 20th, and there is a first night on the 13th of August. And I will go for that reason. I will go to interview people for my PhD, but I don't have a new show ready yet because I'm writing a show about my university experience. Problem is I started in October, so I don't have enough of it yet.
You haven't had it.
Yes, the problem with life is it doesn't always run at the pace you need to fill a 1-hour show for Edinburgh every year. So I will need a bit more of time.
So it's life that needs to change.
It's
really.
life, yes. The problem with doing autobiographic shows is that you need life for it. That's a big problem.
And this will be your second year?
This
Luca?
is Copstick talking to Luca.
Luca Cupani. So you must have enjoyed last year because you've stayed.
Yes, I loved it. Thanks to Giacinto also because I'm quite naive. I didn't know many things about comedy, and he was I called him my Virgil. How do you say that? Like in the Inferno because
Sorry, Virgin?
Virgil.
Because it's beautiful, but if you don't know how to move, and if you don't know many things about comedy, you can get lost easily. So last year I ended up at midnight 30 in the Three Sisters. It was interesting.
It was
interesting.
You managed very well with it. With the difficulties of the situation, you did brilliantly.
I had no pressure because I couldn't see the audience if there were any, and I couldn't hear to their laughter. So you just stop and you hope someone's there is enjoying.
And are you still? Because one of the most incredible things about you last year was that it was more or less a fresh hour every night. Is this still your modus operandi?
Yeah, but after the first week last year, I realized that I had to keep something because I couldn't find something new every day. So I
not enough life was going by.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and so this year I will have like maybe 20 minutes that I'm almost sure about, and then 30 minutes that will have to be made up during the.
Wow!
But this time
That's so brave.
Yes, it's crazy, but in a positive way.
How did you do a fresh hour every time last year?
Almost. I saw his show almost every night, and I didn't get bored at all. Because it was fresh.
How did you do a fresh one every night?
Because I didn't write a show because I wanted to go to the Fringe even if I didn't know what it was about. And Giacinto gave me the contact of Alex Petty from Laughing Horse. So I emailed him and I asked him, can you give me 5 to 10 minutes for doing an open spot? And he told me we just book entire shows of 1 hour length. So I said, fine.
I will do 1 hour.
But if it's 1 hour, and I had just the title was Free Fall, that suit me.
Good.
And so I went on stage. But after the very first night, after 10 minutes, I ran out of my material, so I had to.
But you generated a lot of material on stage. You were brilliant. Yeah.
But because also the venue was so strange that you could make jokes about the venues. This year is a more traditional venue.
It's a bus.
It's a bus.
Yes.
So I can't wait because
you're on Bob Slayer's blunderbuss.
Yes, and I'm glad because I'm in the afternoon, late afternoon. So there's a chance I have real audience, not too drunk people maybe. And so
Bob will be drunk, obviously.
Yeah, but yes, that's true. But people will be, if there are people that I think I can interact. I can't wait to be there, but I haven't written anything. So, and in this period where everyone is doing previews, I enjoy previews, but then I think I should do my homework maybe. But
You're doing a preview here, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's just more.
What
I will
day?
try it on the 1st of July.
1st of July.
Along with Romina Puma, she's doing.
Along with Romina Puma.
But I need to find the pace to do at least 30-40 minutes of talking because.
But it's a whole other way of working, and you shouldn't be bullied into working other people's way. I mean, one of my favorite quotes of all time, it's Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
And he says, we should all be jumping off cliffs and working out how to land on the way down.
Fantastic.
And that's
this.
what you're doing.
And my title is Still Falling, so I think it's, this is a good quote.
Not crash yet.
Not yet. Still falling.
But I did just one of I remember, and it's possibly slightly unfair, but I remember the year Reg D. Hunter did White Woman, and I saw it for the very first time, and I was blown away. I mean, it was electric. It was unbelievable. And then I went to see it again. I was on the Perrier panel then, and I went into bat for it in a big, big way because there were people on the panel who didn't even want it to be eligible. They said it was racist and sexist, neither of which it was. But I got it on the short list, so you have to go and see it again. And when I went to see it again, I realised, I can't believe how stupid I was. It wasn't real, because every kind of pause and thinking and little Reg type noise and, stroking his jawline, that was all directed. And I mean, I felt A, stupid, and B, kind of betrayed. And I think that while there's a lot to be said for professionalism and all of that, I kind of have a gut need for real and that like free fall, that without a net, that this might be funny or it might, like Bob used to do, this Phil Kay, Ross Noble used to do it, all these, and I would go and see some rubbish gigs, and then you'd get something brilliant. Because somebody who's genuinely, I would rather see someone who's genuinely talented try and fail than someone who's...
There's a chance it might happen in my
You are calling yourself genuinely talented. Well done, brilliant. That's the spirit.
For those who don't know, though, you're actually a comedy critic for the Scotsman during the Edinburgh Fringe, aren't you?
Who doesn't know?
Me.
You can't fool me.
Me, yes.
But the audience may not know that. And in fact, this week...
There's only about 5 people listen to this, and they're all our friends. They all know. Although hopefully we might garner an audience in Australia now.
Yeah, yes. But they also know some performer did a love letter to you this week, didn't they? Who was that?
Giacinto.
Well, it was all deserved, all felt and all deserved.
What sort of love letter was this?
Well, it wasn't a love letter. It was a wonderful, wonderful piece of writing.
I just shared my ideas on why Copstick is so important to remind us of the need to be passionate about comedy. The fact that comedy and the arts in general should be about passion, and so the passion that she's bringing to her criticism, I think, is very important. It's very important to remind us of that. And also the original way of thinking that you're bringing to it, and that you apply to this one as well, to the way you approach problems in Africa. I really see...
this is the Mama Biashara charity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's something that's...
It was just... A, it was absolutely glorious. B, it was really well written.
Yeah,
So
the way
your
English is so good, I have to learn.
But somebody posted a link to that article with a comment, "Who is that cunt?" And I was really offended by that little vile word.
Who?
After 6 years in comedy, come on. Hopefully this will get me a bit more...
absolutely.
Hopefully the next time I'll do something like this, we will say, "Oh, I know that cunt."
Yeah, exactly. You're the cunt.
Yes, that would be a great progress.
You can put on your poster that cunt.
Who is that guy? Yes.
But we have the Giacinto has spawned really what is turning into an entire genre, because after the author of that brilliant interrogative, "Who is that cunt?" he followed that up with it wasn't really a satirical take on what...
Who's this?
Michael Legg.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I would have expected something better from him. It was kind of a really nebby, kind of vicious, but not particularly well-written parody of Giacinto's...
I'm a Paradise author now. It's amazing. I feel like, I don't know, Bruno Ganz.
Exactly. And now, just before we went on iPhone or whatever
we're on,
I got an email from the inimitable, indomitable Lynn Ruth Miller. And she has, in turn, written a letter parodying Michael's legs.
we don't know if Steve Bennett has accepted it yet.
We don't know if Steve Bennett...
I hope he will.
We hope that Steve...
Who's Steve?
Except Steve Bennett of Chort. You're really just here as a footnote, aren't you?
I am.
Anytime somebody mentions anything, and who's that? So, thank you, John. Steve Bennett of Chortle, the website of choice for thinking comedians everywhere. Apart from the... Do we have a website?
We do, the grouchyclub.co.uk.
Well, there we are. That must be interesting. I've never seen it. Never mind. Anyway, so after Michael parodied Giacinto, Lynn Ruth has now parodied Michael. I can't remember. Maybe I should parody Lynn Ruth Miller and write a love letter to Giacinto and bring it full circle.
There we are. So that's it all sorted out.
But it's... I found that whole thing a little bit sort of disappointing. And...
What was disappointing?
Well, just the mirthless attitude of everyone. Shapi Korsandi wrote, would people please stop mentioning me because she couldn't bear to have my name on her timeline. I know.
What did you do for Shapi Korsandi?
I've nothing. I don't know what I've done.
She's a PBH apologist, I think.
I'm a PBH apologist. That's probably it. So, what else were we going to talk about?
Well,
the Grouchy Club. Not all the problems. Not all the problems. Half the problems of the Cowgatehead hoo-ha would not be such big problems if people, even people on the Free Fringe, didn't insist on putting themselves in the big brochure. I think a lot of people who go to Free Fringe venues, they pick up the Free Fringe's own brochures.
Because I even paid advertising on the brochure, and I think it was useful to
really?
be honest, yeah.
That's about £1,500 or something, isn't it? You mean a quarter page?
Yeah, when I had a job, yes. When I had a job, I could do that.
This is in the Fringe programme. Quarter page advert costs about £1,500, I think.
It's outrageous. But we're not in the programme, are we, John?
No, we're not in the programme because...
Why are we not in the programme, John? See, I'm being the footnote now.
We're impoverished, we're Scottish, and we know a lot of Jews.
That's probably it. Yes. Our audiences are so small that we can actually go around and individually invite people in.
Our audiences are so small that Ronnie Corbett looks down on them. But also the other reason was, in fact, with the Grouchy Club last year, we didn't really want to attract ordinary punters, ordinary members of the public. Anyway.
John, be honest, we wanted to attract anybody.
Yeah, well, all through my life, that's been the case.
I know. That is the story of my life as well.
I've tried advertising, quarter-page adverts, nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Oh, God.
Well, Luca was there almost every day.
Yeah. After you introduced me to the...
It was wonderful. We had our regulars, like Luca, who did... How many? You did little 10-minute spots quite often.
Yeah, and I met Paul Ricketts. Many comedians. No, wait.
I know what else. Sorry.
But we are in a brochure with the increasingly prestigious Malcolm Hardy Awards on the 28th of
brilliant
August.
show.
Two-hour variety show.
I always plan my going to Edinburgh if I don't do the entire run. In order to see that show.
Wonderful.
It's brilliant.
And, I think we've been really rather prescient in our choice of, Trevor Noah, act most likely to make £1 million.
Well, this year, Trevor Noah was likely to make £1 million. Malcolm Hardy Awards is now presenting The Daily Show instead of John Watson.
And so very likely to make £1 million.
And the man whose name I forgot, oh, God almighty, first winner.
I wasn't there then. It was pre-me.
Was it really? I thought you were there the whole time. What's that mean, pre-you?
No, pre-me. Yeah.
That's not nice, come on.
No, well, Dr. Coca-Cola McDonald's won one.
BBC before Copstick.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, it's like the Big Bang. What was there before? Do we care?
You read that the Big Bang, the programme, is now going to donate money to get interesting projects off the ground. And
I didn't read that.
Send people to university.
Good grief.
Yeah, and in a scientific way. So if you've got a great idea.
Now, talking of interesting people.
I'm free.
I went to see, who's also going to be up in Edinburgh, but only for 2 or 3, a bit like Giacinto. I had a lovely evening out with Liz Carr.
Yeah.
Brilliant
comedian and woman.
Yeah, who's now starring in Silent Witness. So I was with her and her lovely Jo, her lovely lady wife. We went to see a recording of the John Bishop show, starring Tanya Lee Davis. She was brilliant. She absolutely rocked it. And I think he genuinely has kind of curated the shows himself, because almost all the people are people he's worked with. Hal Cruttenden was on. He was wonderful. And what was... Glenn Wool is going to be on it, which is fantastic.
Canadian guy. I think he moved back to Canada.
Just brilliant, Glenn Wool.
Copstick is going to write a love letter to Glenn Wool.
I'll write a love letter to Glenn Wool. But Tom Stade was on. And I haven't seen Tom Stade for a while.
Sorry, don't know him. Sorry,
so he's an American.
He looked at me asking for
he came over many, many years ago and did a play called True West with Phil Nichols. And he did an hour stand-up, and it was brilliant. It was fantastic. And then his next show wasn't so great, and the show after that I thought was absolutely appalling. And I kind of haven't been back to see him since. So I don't know how he's gone, but his PR this year, as she pinned me to the wall, said, he's wonderful, he's great, he's really back on form, he's tremendous. And so I met him at the Hackney Empire. I'd gone round to leave a little gift for Tanya Lee, and Tom was there, very uncoolly smoking one of these electronic cigarettes. Nobody can be cool smoking an electronic cigarette. Anyway, vaping. He was vaping. And so he said, Copstick, great to see you. That's how he talks. Hi, I'm Tom Stade. I'm the coolest man in comedy. So I was very interested, because I thought, this is great. I'll see. And then if he's back on form, I'll go and see him in Edinburgh and make his PR a very happy woman, and she can stop pursuing me. And it was an odd set for something which is, it's on at 9:45, BBC One, on a Saturday night. So this is a huge opportunity for acts who are mainly people who are on the circuit but have not had television exposure. So for the first 5 minutes, he talked about how good-looking he was, and I know it was meant to be ironic. But didn't come across as particularly ironic, although I do appreciate that it was. And then halfway through, he started on this kind of riff, and then just dropped off the end. He kind of said, and I don't know what happened after that. And then did a kind of like cut and straight into the next bit. And you think, fucking hell. I know, like, with Luca, to keep it fresh and not do the same stuff all over again, but if you are going on BBC One, 9:45, Saturday night, the John Bishop show, you really need to know that you're going to nail it.
This is a very negative end. Who's going to be big at the Fringe this year?
Who's going to be big at the Fringe this year? Luca.
The Italians. Yes.
I'm desperate to. Now there's, I tell you, oh my God, another PR who shall be nameless, Madeleine Bennett. Mm-hmm. She came in yesterday with her list, and her list is terrific. But I cannot wait. I might break the habit of a lifetime and go and see a preview, because I just can't wait to see it. John Robertson.
In a light room?
No, it's his new show. It just sounds superb.
Well, it is brilliant. What's it called? Do you remember?
It just sounds superb. So superb that I've momentarily forgotten the name of it. He's doing two shows, actually. He's doing two shows, but his main show... it's called Redecorating... something, or just I don't know. And good grief, it's another comic. They're flooding in. You see, not only do we have people, we're podcasting, not only do we have people from Australia flooding in, from Kenya as well. Hey.
I cannot miss this opportunity.
Hello. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. We're very nearly finished. I'm just... yes, so John Robertson, that's who's going to be brilliant. I think he's going to be fantastic.
PR works, you're saying.
From the US?
Hiring a PR works.
From the US? You have
From the US.
From the US?
From the US.
From Australia?
This is, I'm so impressed with your audience.
Someone from Liverpool.
Wow. Okay, and if you've got a bicycle, lock it up.
So I think we're now disintegrating, aren't we?
We are. We're
Probably
we're
the
falling
end.
off the edge here because it's all getting too exciting, and I can't wait for. I mean, Giacinto has to go and do his warm-up yoga, his stretches, his vocal exercises, and right the end for the show.